Hey everybody, it's Professor Veit here. I decided to change up the beach theme and go with the Golden Gate Bridge. Do we have any folks out there in San Francisco area near there traveling across the Golden Gate Bridge? Beautiful sunset over there as well. I hope this Zoom video recording lecture would have you find you well. Today, I'm recording this on Sunday, the 8th of September, and those of us in Nashville and surrounding counties, well, I'm speaking for individuals, but those that I know have really enjoyed the weather we have had over the weekend, just nice and a dash of cool. So of course, we're all like, that means fall is coming for those of us who love fall. But knowing our Nashville weather, it could snow, right? Just kidding. I don't know. That's usually in the spring when all of a sudden we think we're done. But it could get hot again around here. So we are heading into module 3, group cohesion and rules and norms, and we're getting so close to starting those process groups. And so just kind of hoping that the content thus far has somewhat or a lot prepared you for this next kind of phase, which is meeting in the process groups and just practicing being leaders and practicing being group members. So I'm going to pull up the PowerPoint on group cohesion and the basic tasks. And that means I'll be over here with the small Golden Gate. So if you are hopefully reading along in the big, huge Yalom textbook, this content comes from chapter 3. So group cohesion essentially is the analog to relationship and individual therapy. This is a broad concept encompassing an individual's relationship with the therapist, relationship to other group members, and relationship to the group as a whole. So 3 different relationships going on when we look at overall cohesion and how it develops in the group process, really on an individual basis, as well as collectively. It's going to differ in the amount of we-ness or togetherness. We know that groups with more solidarity will defend the group against internal and external threats. Groups with higher cohesion have higher rates of attendance, participation, and mutual support among members, the group, member to member, member to the group, and just the collective group as a whole. Group cohesion, as Yalom says, is like dignity. Individually, a lot of people, Yalom says everyone can recognize it, but it's really hard to describe and measure. I think that, it's just kind of thinking through, like, what is it that I consider cohesive when I am in a group setting or group process? And I was thinking about it the other day, and it's kind of hard to describe. I think it's just a sense of closeness. Cohesiveness, according to Yalom, is the result of all forces acting on all the members, so that they remain in the group. A lot of times, one of our main goals is having all members stay in the group. Members of a cohesive group feel warmth, comfort, and an overall sense of belonging. Members value a cohesive group and in turn, hopefully, feel valued in the group, feel a sense of worth. They are part of this group, and without them, the dynamic would change. Cohesion can fluctuate throughout the course of a group. Cohesion is usually precondition for other therapeutic factors to function optimally. We're going to be talking more about therapeutic factors later in the semester. Early cohesion is essential for the group to be able to navigate more challenges that come their way. Conflict, maybe discomfort, maybe unresolved conflict, right? But the more cohesive we are, hopefully we are able to move through it. Resolution, maybe, solutions, maybe, or just move through it, right? We just agree to disagree. We are where we are. The phrase, it is what it is, but sometimes it just is what it is, which is just differing opinions based on life experiences that, while having threatened the cohesion, has not taken the cohesion away. Importance of group cohesion. Yala maintains that the overall need or sense of belonging is innate in all humans. Many clients in the group setting have interrupted interpersonal skills and limited acceptance in their intimate relationships. Being accepted in a group challenges the client's beliefs that they are unacceptable or unlovable. Members can see that they can generate cohesion with others and bring about durable relationships. So again, we're going to be talking about this a little bit later in the semester, but just depending on maybe family systems, work environments, relationships, partnerships, where our interpersonal skills might disrupt our relational experience, the overall acceptance of being accepted into the group might help an individual see that they are acceptable or perhaps lovable. Therapy groups generate a positive self-reinforcing loop. So acceptance into the group, we trust the group more. If we trust the group, we might deepen the self-disclosure. Perhaps we develop empathy for ourselves and our other group members. Gets us back to acceptance of self and those around us. Acceptance. Group members' acceptance of self and acceptance of other members are interdependent, okay? Not only is self-acceptance dependent on acceptance by others, but acceptance of others is fully possible only after one can accept oneself. I've always sort of thought, I don't know about this. I know it's sort of like, you won't be able to accept somebody else for all they are if you can't accept yourself. I kind of feel like the process of self-acceptance is ever evolving, given life experiences and what we go through. Let's say trauma, something happens to you that's traumatic, right? And it puts you in a place of just questioning who you are, what's your value, but perhaps you are in a partnership or a marriage, or you have friends, or you're close to your family. I don't know that the shift in self-acceptance necessarily means we can't have meaningful relationships. Does that make any sense? Am I disagreeing with y'all? I don't really know. I'm just kind of putting my own little spin on it, because this is always something that I'm like, yeah, we've heard this for a lot. You can't love anybody else until you love yourself, is kind of what is mirroring right there. Mechanisms of action. The client is increasingly free in expressing their feelings. More reality testing and discrimination of feelings and perceptions. More aware of incongruity between experiences and overall concepts of self. More aware of previously denied feelings, maybe anger, sadness. If you grew up not being able to express your anger, or frustration with a family member, or sadness, then you have maybe stuffed those down. Maybe you were denied those feelings, and within the group, it's safe to express, that made me angry. I am overwhelmingly sad. More able to experience a therapist's unconditional positive regard, as well as unconditional positive self-regard. Experiences self as focus of evaluation. What am I doing? Where am I headed? What am I learning? How am I growing? How am I showing up as a best friend, a roommate, a partner, a spouse, a parent, a daughter, a son, what have you? reacts to experiences more in terms of its effectiveness in enhancing one's own development. Public esteem. Public esteem involves members ranking one another on several variables. Members' ability to face their own deficiencies increases their public esteem. Group members considered most popular typically have better outcomes. I don't love most popular. It reminds me of middle school and high school. They're the popular people. But I think maybe that high regard, that member that's like working really hard. And maybe it seems as though they are popular, maybe well respected, because we've seen this person make some changes. Okay, they've walked away, not necessarily healed from a sexual assault, but have increased in their overall self-worth and the ability to maybe see that that was not their fault, right? And now they are expressing their anger and they're kind of pulling away from the identity of the receiver or victim of or survivor of a sexual assault, depending on what definition somebody wants to use. So it's kind of like, wow, that person has come really far, or maybe the progress they've made is just talking about it, right? Maybe they haven't decided to really process it, but they have talked about it. Three variables that correlate with popularity, well-liked, well respected, and better outcomes are that self-disclosure, interpersonal compatibility, other sociometric measures, members chosen as friends outside the group. So maybe, they're leaving the group process and three people are like, I want to hear more. We talked about that later in the semester. Meaning outside the group is called subgrouping. But we want to hear more about your story. We want to learn more about you. And that's kind of choosing somebody to maybe be a potential friend beyond group membership. Clients who terminate early during the group, Yalom says, receive little benefit. That's not to say you cannot benefit if you attend a few sessions, let's say 3 out of 12. Obviously, if it's a 12 to 16 week group process curriculum, staying for the entire time is going to increase what you get out of the group. Sometimes clients who drop out also challenge the group's sense of worth and effectiveness. Stability of membership is essential for effective short and long-term group therapy. Intermember conflict. So Yala maintains that conflict must be contained, but communication must not be destroyed so that members can still work together in a meaningful way. This is where cohesion comes in. Members must mean enough to one another to be willing to work through the discomfort of the conflict. That can either be find a solution, maybe a common ground, or sit through the discomfort of not being able to come to a place of agreement or a solution. But you feel this way. I feel this way. Wow. I know that our value systems are very different. And at this point, I'm having trouble looking at you as XYZ. But so far in the group, when I didn't know that you believed this, I was able to look at you as a valuable group member that I've enjoyed being around. Conflict can also enhance self-disclosure. Working through these conflicts is a powerful therapeutic experience. Group cohesion and the expression of hostility. More cohesive groups allow for greater development and expression of hostility and conflict. And again, when someone becomes hostile, we have lots of different perceptions of what that looks like. But again, maybe dialed up, dysregulated. Some people are like, they look like they're ready to implode. Well, they feel really comfortable. And, unless it can happen openly, those covert hostile attitudes may disrupt the development of cohesiveness and effective interpersonal learning. So maybe there's conversations on the side. That person is being so mean. They're so volatile. They're so high energy. Their passion is actually come across as anger. But oftentimes we're helping an individual process through what is dysregulating them. what is influencing their need or the increase of hostility to show up in the group process. So doing our best, and this is really hard to navigate as group leaders, but doing our best to wade our way through the conflicts that come up. We're going to be talking about conflict and confrontation later. This is just a little preview. Members of a cohesive group they will try harder to influence other group members. Perhaps they self-disclose more. They're more open to influence by other members, maybe taking feedback. They protect the group norms and exert more pressure on those who are deviating from the norms, experience more security and relief from tension in the group, are less susceptible to disruption as a group when a member terminates membership, participates more readily in a group, and experiencing that just a greater ownership of the group therapy process. All of us are part of this. We own what happens in this group process. We own taking on whatever challenges or making changes, this collective change, this cohesion that helps us as a group collectively move through the process of the group. Oh, well, there we go. So a couple of things, if a couple of, I think, exemptions to this PowerPoint doesn't mean cohesion can't develop, but sometimes, well, a lot of times, if you're working maybe in an inpatient hospital, psychiatric hospital, different age groups, let's say, it can be a revolving door of membership. So you're working your hardest as a group leader to bye, member A, B, and C. Hello, member D, E, and F. So goodbye and hello. Hey, everybody that's been here for 4 days, we're saying goodbye over here, saying hello over here. How do we say goodbye and hello and get everybody that's new involved and everybody that's leaving, hopefully with having had a meaningful experience or has felt part of a cohesive group? Oftentimes we do not know how an individual feels or what they experienced. We do our darndest, we do our best to maybe lead a group where individuals are mandated to be there. That does not mean that group cohesion cannot form. I don't know if anybody's ever watched Orange is the New Black. It fascinated me. Like anything with like a million seasons, you're like, oh, that was a fluff season, what have you. But and this isn't a spoiler alert, but there were some process groups in there. Some voluntary, in fact, I think a lot of them voluntary and some individuals made to be there. But just through that shared experience of we're in here, we have to go through this, or we've been through that, or we've done this, that cohesion can increase. So involuntary being maybe they were obviously mandated to be incarcerated, joining a group that, they were curious about, or being a part of a group that, okay, you have to be a part of anger management skills, or you're about to leave the prison system, jail system, incarceration, and you're going to go back to being a parent, right? A caregiver. We're going to need you to participate in these classes to feel better for you leaving. Whatever it is, I think sometimes as a leader, it's like, oh my gosh, they're made to be here. Are they going to like it? Will they talk? What will they get out of it? There's going to be a revolving membership. We're at a Parthenon Pavilion or Skyline inpatient, and we're going to be leading a lot of people in a lot of groups all day long, and really just making sure that we're not taking on total responsibility for the evolution of cohesion, but doing our best. So just really doing our best. So this is just the first PowerPoint of Module 3. And next up is going to be the PowerPoint about rules, norms, and goals of the group. I appreciate you. If you are my student or a student in a different section, we are all enjoying leading, I guess, instructing this course. So I hope you're doing well. Hope you're finding moments to add in just a little bit of self-care if you can. We know how busy you are. Those of us who teach online courses, maybe we were never an online student, so I can't say I get it. I don't get it. I've only taught in the online program for forever, and I just have a special admiration for those of you in the online program, doing your best to get to know your cohort, your classmates, your professors, instructors along the way, and balancing everything else you have going on. So I say kudos to you, and keep up the great work and enjoy module 3. More to come. Have a good one. If you're in San Francisco, hope it's this beautiful.